There's a penalty for that?
Yeah, you do that, you go to the box, 2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame. And then you get free.
This is CBJ in 30.
Anything you folks want to know about?
You have questions,
What is slashing?
we have answers.
Slashing is, like that,
And there's a penalty for that?
Yeah, you do that, you go to the box, 2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame, and then you get free.
This is CBJ in 30.
Anything you folks want to know about the fascinating world of pro hockey? Here we go.
Tweet your questions by using the hashtag CBJIN30.
We'd like to remind you folks, keep your questions within the boundaries of good taste.
Here's your host, Bob McGilligan.
And welcome to another CBJ in 30. This is the 22nd day of December and the final day before the Christmas break for the Columbus Blue Jackets, who get set to take on the Nashville Predators tonight here at Nationwide Arena. As you heard that, the Christmas Open right there with the Christmas music, I used the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, who's going to be coming here to play at Nationwide Arena, as a matter of fact, on December 28th, I believe it is. But in addition, I chose the Mad Russian theme because the Blue Jackets are on a roll because of one of their Russians, and that is Sergei Bobrovsky, and the way that he has played in between the pipes for the Blue Jackets. He has been nothing short of outstanding, astounding. You pick the adjective that you want and go ahead and throw it out there, because that's what it all is. Blue Jackets doing a fantastic job with him being the anchor in between the pipes. And that's why they have points in 9 straight games. They've picked up 16 out of a possible 17 points going into this game tonight and taking on a very good Nashville team here this evening. But let's go back to Saturday night and talk about what the Blue Jackets did against the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blue Jackets were outshot 2-1 in the game, but they found a way to win, and they did it in a shootout, and they overcame adversity in that game as well. Blue Jackets started the game with a lead. Jack Skilly on a double tip. A shot from the point by Fedor Tutin, got tipped by Ryan Johansson, then by Jack Skilly, gets into the net. The Blue Jackets are up 1-0. But then Patrick Sharp, he's so dangerous when he has the puck on his stick. He got the puck on the turnover, came up the ice, fired it by Bobrovsky, and it was a 1-1 game. The Blue Jackets were then able to take the lead. They got up on the Chicago Blackhawks 2-1. They did that with a power play goal by Kevin Connaughton in the third period, and they were sitting pretty at that time. But the Chicago Blackhawks, they just keep on coming, and they keep crashing the net. And ironically, crashing the net and keep on coming were two things that took on an entirely different meaning in that game on the third period on Saturday evening. And let me show you exactly how the Chicago Blackhawks wound up getting back into the game on Saturday, how they wound up getting themselves into a tie against the Blue Jackets in the third period of that game.
Get it. Kruger drops it for Kane. Kane's got a man going to the net, and Kane walks it all the way in. The shot save is made. Rebound. Where is it? No goal. No goal as Marcus Kruger went sliding into the crease.
After review, the puck hits a stick after it is kicked. It's a good goal.
Now you explain to me how that's a good goal. I understand by the rules, the way they are written today, why it's a good goal. Because they sent it for review. And the call on the ice was, the goal was no good because there was a distinctive kicking motion. That's what the referee said. He pointed at the Kruger. I was going to say the guy, but I'll tell you who it is. He pointed at Marcus Kruger. He said no goal, and then he kicked his leg. No goal because of a kicking motion. They go back and they look at it. And you could see that he slides into that puck for sure. But he doesn't kick it over the line. Ben Smith actually touches it with a stick before it goes over the line. That's why it counted as a goal. And when it first happened, it looked like he slid right into Sergei Bobrovsky's pad and knocked that thing loose. As you could see, the goaltender kind of released from it. But here's the bottom line. How can it be legal? And Kruger had lost his stick. He had no stick in his hand at all. And he goes baseball sliding right in there to try to knock that thing into the net. It winds up in the net, and they say it's a good goal because it was touched by his stick. How about the premise of just sliding in feet first? We're talking in the dressing room today with some players asking, would you ever think to go in blades first? I mean, this is like stealing second base and going spikes up, right? I mean, you've got blades on your feet, and you just slide right into the guy. Feet first. Not down on your knee, side of your leg going in. This is feet first. This is your skate blades right into him. Like, first of all, who would think of that? Marcus Kruger. Not Freddy Krueger. He would think of it too. But anyway, the whole point is, who would think of that? And then he gets away with it. Do you not think that this is one of those clips that the National Hockey League has got to look at and say, we've got to do something? This can't happen. This cannot be the norm. There's no way this can be the norm. You can't encourage baseball sliding into the crease to pick up a goal. I know you want to get scoring up in the league. I know you want to have more goals, but this is ridiculous. That's ridiculous right there. So at some point, you got to look at that and make some kind of a ruling on that. And I still think that that's another good example of goaltender interference. How you can, justify looking at it on a replay. And maybe looking at that replay, maybe it wouldn't count as goaltender interference. I don't know. But you at least need to have the discussion. Whether it's a coach's challenge, whether it's just something that just gets, put under the umbrella of being able to review a scoring play, whatever the case is. I don't care how you word it. I don't care what you do. Just put it in there. Make it so that you can look at it. Because what people come back and say all the time is, well, there's too much of a gray area as far as, what's good, what's not, and we don't want to confuse people. Well, you confuse people when you let that play be legal right there. That particular play. That's how you confuse people. How come you can't kick a puck in, but you can slide in blades first, and if it happens to go in, it's okay? All right? So there's your gray area right there. So if you really don't want to have a gray area, get rid of it. Make it black or white and be done with it. That's what needs to happen on that play. But as I told you, the Blue Jackets overcame that adversity. They found a way. They went to overtime. They didn't get a goal in overtime. They went to a shootout. And if you had to play the shootout on paper, you could fill in 3 names for the Chicago Blackhawks, 3 names for the Blue Jackets, and you could say the Blackhawks get the extra point. Why do I say that? Well, look at the guys that they have to choose from. Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, Marian Hossa. Who else can they go with? Anybody they want to. Patrick Sharp, talked about him. Andrew Shaw, who did wind up getting a shootout goal here the other evening. They've got plenty of guys. They've got like 10 guys they can go with. The shootout went 9 rounds. 9 rounds. The Blue Jackets completely outmatched in the skills department on paper, but finding a way on the ice. Corey Crawford was doing a good job of turning aside shots. So was Sergei Bobrovsky on the other end. Jeremy Morin, the former Chicago Blackhawk, picked up by the Blue Jackets in a trade last Sunday, came in and finally put one in the net. And then Andrew Shaw came down and evened that up. So we get into the 9th round. And the Blue Jackets going down the bench, and they're picking guys off one at a time. And who was up in round number 9 for the Blue Jackets? Defenseman Jack Johnson. Did you know that he had these kind of moves? Here are the 2 plays that ended it on Saturday night right here at Nationwide Arena.
Here goes Jack in a shootout. He picks it up. He lumbers in over the blue line. Right at the goaltender, Crawford. He goes, shoots, he scores! Jack Johnson took him right out of his skates. Brian Bickle skating quickly to center ice. Brings it in with speed. High slot shoot, save made, and I got 2 words for you. Game over! It may not have been in regulation, but the Blue Jackets have finally beaten the Chicago Blackhawks. They do get it done tonight in the greatest possible way, quite frankly. The goaltender standing on his head and being the star of the game again. The final score in the shootout, Blue Jackets 3 and the Blackhawks 2.
Easy, right? Not a big deal. 3-2, shootout win, 2 more points, good to go. That was a hard-fought win. That was a great character win for the Blue Jackets as a team, and something hopefully they're going to build upon here tonight as they take on the Nashville Predators. A very good Predators team, as a matter of fact. Nashville 21-8-2 coming into this game tonight, and also they're 9-6-1 on the road, so they know what it's like to win on the road. When you look at the Central Division over in the Western Conference, Nashville is sitting third with 44 points, but they're only 1 behind St. Louis, and they're only 4 behind division-leading Chicago as well. So this is a team that has really cranked it up. They've changed their entire identity. They were defense and goaltending only for years and years and years. But during the summer, Barry Trotz was moved out, and Peter Laviolette came in, and Laviolette likes to have a more offensive system than Barry Trotz ever did. Not that he didn't want to have one, I don't think. I think for Barry Trotz it was he just never had the horses. He just didn't have the guys to be able to play any type of system other than the one that he did. So that's what they did. They got a world-class goaltender in Pekka Rinne. Then they got some great defensemen. They got Shane Weber. When Ryan Suter left, Roman Josi rose to the top. They drafted Seth Jones. They've got some great guys back there on the back end, and they put those guys in front of Pekka Rinne, and then they needed some scoring, so they went out and they got some guys. They got Philip Forsberg. What a steal to get Philip Forsberg from Martin Erat and whatever else, doesn't even matter. But they got Forsberg, who was the number 1 pick of the Washington Capitals, in a trade, and he leads their team with 31 points. He's been fantastic so far this year. Mike Ribeiro finding career resurrection here in Nashville with the Predators. Mike Fisher is there. He had an Achilles injury and didn't start playing until the Blue Jackets were down there late last month. And, he's another one of those guys. He's just solid all the way through. They've got Shea Weber, their captain, on the back end that can hammer the puck 100 miles an hour. Who else? James Neal they got during the summer from Pittsburgh in a trade for Patrick Hornqvist and Nick Spaulding. And James Neal gives them a legitimate number 1 sniper out there on the ice. So they have really changed what they are and who they are, and the Blue Jackets have to be ready to play them here tonight. I mentioned Kevin Connaughton had a goal for the Blue Jackets that ended up put them on top in the third period against Chicago the other night. Kevin Connaughton, talk about a guy getting comfortable shooting the puck. Let's see. Coming into tonight's game, he now has 3 goals. He's played 20 games this year. He has 3 goals, 3 assists, but he's really kind of finding who he is with this team, and I had a chance to catch up with him just a little bit ago and talk about tonight's matchup against the Nashville Predators.
Kevin, tonight you get ready to take on the Nashville Predators. This is a team that's playing well, but nothing new, right? I mean, every team that you guys have played here in this stretch has been a team that's playing at the top of its game.
Yeah, I know. I think beating teams like Chicago, those are always ones that you kind of, you prove to yourself that you can play with the top teams in this league. So for us, I don't think we ever really look at where they are in the standings. We're just focused on what we're doing. We can't focus so much on what other teams are doing in the season or how they've been doing. It's just a matter of us bringing a full 60 minutes and playing to our strengths and playing the game that has got us these wins in December.
How about your game in particular, especially when it comes to your shot? You look like you're a lot more confident right now putting the puck on the net and knowing when the best time is to take that shot. It seems like the timing of it is becoming a lot more second nature to you right now.
Yeah, I mean, confidence is everything when it comes to stuff like that, and getting out there on the power play and stuff, you get better feel for the puck, and just the way the coaches kind of roll the lines with us on the back end there. You're getting on the ice more consistently, and that kind of just builds on itself, and lets you just play your game and not think about going out there and making a mistake, and the consequences of that. Just lets you kind of play to your strengths and play a little more free and a little more relaxed, which usually results in better opportunities.
Speaking of that, the guy that you play with, James Wisniewski, he can be that riverboat gambler kind of guy. He likes to jump into the play and offensively make plays, risk-reward type of defenseman. Playing with him and knowing that he does that, how much do you have to read what he's doing to know if he's going to take a chance where you have to be in case that chance doesn't pan out?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of reading off each other. If he's up, then I'm back, and if I'm up, he's back. And I think it's been a good fit so far. We have some good chemistry. He likes to communicate out there, which is real nice. That's helpful. He's your eyes when you're going back for pucks, and he's talking to you. So I think it's been a great pair so far. And like I said, it is a risk-reward thing, but as long as you're balancing that out, then you're going to be fine.
Hey, how much would you guys like to give Sergei a little bit of a break tonight and keep that puck down at the other end?
I think he deserves that for sure, and we're trying to limit the shots against. But it's always comforting having him back there, knowing that with the way he's playing, he's going to be shutting the door. And so we got to do everything we can to help him out.
Kevin, thank you. Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks.
That's good. That is Kevin Connaughton talking with me this morning in the Blue Jackets dressing room, getting ready for tonight's game against the Nashville Predators, and the Blue Jackets wanting to finish off this Christmas break with a win. That's really what the bottom line is here for them. They want to make sure that they get what they're looking for here tonight. Well, I'll tell you one guy that's gotten what he's looking for, and that's a call back up to the National Hockey League. That's centerman Alexander Wenberg, who started the year here. He went down to Springfield of the American Hockey League, and now he's back. And I also caught up with him earlier today.
Alex, you get a chance to here and play once again. What was the experience like to go down to Springfield for you and play in different situations and get a little bit more ice time?
I mean, it's a different type of hockey, but for coming down there, get more confident, get more ice time, and being a power play, I think that was a good experience. And I feel like game coming up here, I felt like I was more confident getting in the puck and try to make more plays, and that's pretty much what I want to see too. So.
And when you came back up here, you'd already been here earlier in the year, so you kind of know what it's like here. Did that make it an easier transition to come back?
I mean, absolutely. You know the guys, and you know the type of hockey they're playing up here. So I would say coming back here was just as I never left here. It's just the group is taking care of you, and I mean, it's just fun to be out on the ice again.
When you come into a game like the other night, and now all of a sudden you're playing less minutes again than maybe you were in Springfield, what kind of an adjustment do you have to make? Any?
Not really. I mean, I always try to play the same type of game. Like, it doesn't matter if I play more minutes or less. But being on the ice, skate a lot, and try to get chances. And I mean, it was the same in spring, so I'd try to just stay to my type of game.
When you went down to Springfield, the team was playing well down there. I'm sure the atmosphere was good, and now you're back up here, and everybody's been happy over the course of these last 9 games. How do you go into the Christmas break tonight the way that you guys want to, with 2 points and keeping this good feeling?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This is an important game. You want to win this game and get a good feeling after going on this break and coming back. So, I mean, we had some good, December month has just been very good for Blue Jackets. For me coming in here, I just want to get the last game through here and before the break. So, I mean, try to make the best out of it.
Thank you, sir.
Alexander Wenberg talking with me before today's game between the Blue Jackets and the Nashville Predators here at Nationwide Arena. There's no doubt storyline for tonight's game is this one. The matchup of goaltenders, Sergei Bobrovsky against Pekka Rinne. Pekka Rinne just left the ice. He was the first goalie off, which means that he should be the guy starting tonight. Because Nashville, they're not done after tonight. They have another game to play before the Christmas break starts for them. They go to Boston after tonight's game and play the Bruins tomorrow. Good luck to you. Congratulations. What a draw that is. Pekka Rinne comes into this game with a record of 21-6-1. Is that amazing? 1.87 is his goals against. 933 is his save percentage. Those are unbelievable numbers for this guy. And this is a player, don't forget, when a lot of people ask what happened to the Nashville Predators last year, why did they not make it into the playoff race, what was the problem with them? The problem was Pekka Rinne was hurt for months. He had the hip surgery, then he got an infection. He was down and out for a long, long time. And that's why they had the problems that they had. There's no question about that. He's back, and he is way, way on top of his game right now. But so is Sergei Bobrovsky during this 9-game point streak. Blue Jackets are 8-0-1, and a lot of the reason is because of him. He is 13-8-2. He has a 2.61 goals against coming into this game tonight and a 921 save percentage. So he's playing at his best. Pekka Rinne is obviously playing at his best. That means both teams know it's going to be tough to score tonight. Then again, this is sports where you look at everything on paper and then you play out the game, and it could be a 7-6 game because that's the way it usually works. When you think the goaltending is going to be the main focus, then guys score all over the place. When you think the guys are going to score all over the place, then the goaltending has shutouts. So we'll see what happens. That's why you play the game, right? As the cliche goes, that's why we play it. But it should be good tonight. I'm really looking forward to watching these two guys go head-to-head, toe-to-toe. Remember, the last time these two teams played, Curtis McElhaney made the start for the Blue Jackets, and he lost the game 2-1. The Predators scored with 2.5 left in the third period to go ahead and win the game 2-1, and it was just one of a long series of disappointing losses for the Blue Jackets. However, it was right after that they started winning games. and they got onto the streak that they are. So there were, head coach Todd Richards said there were some elements in that game that started to carry over and start the streak. But there's no question the biggest element for the Blue Jackets is their goaltender, and they've got to find a way to back off of that a little bit. As I said to Kevin Connaughton, you know, how much do you need to give him a break? They do at some point. You can't give up 41, 45, 48 shots or 55 shots and expect to win games every night. It's just not going to happen. They have got to take some of the load off of Sergei Bobrovsky. They've got to find a way to put pressure on Pekka Rinne, and the way the Blue Jackets can do that tonight is by a good forecheck. If they are in the Nashville zone, forechecking, forcing turnovers, that's how they're going to be able to put the puck on Pekka Rinne tonight. So if they do that, chances are very good. If they don't do that, they're going to make their job a lot more tough here this evening. All right, let's find out what you have to say by looking at your tweets at Bobby Mack Sports. And, of course, you can use the hashtag CBJin30. Stacy wants to know, any Ghost of Ryan Murray sightings lately? Nope, not at all. I haven't seen it. Of course, guys skate on their own in the ice house on game days. So, but I haven't seen him since the last time I told you that I saw him on the ice. I haven't really seen him. I saw him. Well, what day was it? Hold on. The day. What day did we do our Christmas thing? That would have been Friday. I saw him on Friday. So I actually saw him for an extended period on Friday after he was done with his skate and getting changed in the dressing room. His spirits are good, but it's his knee that has to be great for him to get back on the ice and start to play games. Boone's Goon says, I'm bringing a friend to the game tonight. I'm bringing a friend to the game/Cannon tonight, and that's at the Cannon is that first intermission tweet up. And it says, he's from Detroit. Any good ribbing ideas? Let's see. Any good ribbing ideas? Putting me on the spot. He's from Detroit. I don't know. We're not playing Detroit, so I don't know. Any way you could plant a squid on him and get him busted with it coming in the gates? That would be kind of funny. Although security people might not think that's funny. I don't know. Not sure. Just give him grief. That would be the best thing to do. And you could do that when you have the ammo of having won in Detroit last week. So you have that going for you. But I don't know. Maybe I know at the tweet ups you give out those buttons where you're supposed to write your Twitter handle on them or whatever. You might want to write a message for him and just present him the button. Whatever that message is, arable or not. That's up to you. Totally up to you guys. Let's see. Chris says, what's the sense of Jordan Leopold so far? Connaughton seems to be a keeper, but he seems more uncertain. Jordan Leopold is a veteran defenseman who did a great job here when Fedor Tutin was out. Personally, I think Jordan Leopold deserves to continue to play. There's just not room for him as it is right now because of Connaughton and the way that he is playing and the way he's getting the puck to the net, generating offense, his relationship with James Wisniewski and the way that they're playing as a pair is something you don't want to disrupt right now. So because of that, Leopold seems to be the odd man out. Dalton Prout has really picked up his game. David Savard has been outstanding, and Jack Johnson is Jack Johnson, right? So that's the way it is. And Fedor Tutin's back, so there are your six. So it's a numbers game, same thing that he dealt with in St. Louis. He's used to this. I'm sure he's not happy. He finally got to a situation where he could play, but he knows the drill. He's got to be ready to go on any given night, because that's the night that he could wind up back in the lineup. But I like having him around. I think he's good for the team. I think having a good veteran guy is good to have in the dressing room, good to have around at all times. And he's an older veteran guy that can still play. Like if you're an old vet and you can't play anymore, that's one thing. Your voice takes on, one aspect. And if you can still play and can still get it done, then you have a lot more clout. Obviously. CBJ or Die says, does the fact that Ryan Johansson hasn't been scoring lately concern you? Yes, it does. Concerns me a lot, as a matter of fact. And then the second part of the question is, can he make a repeat of last year? I hope he can. I hope he does. But yeah, I'm concerned about that. I mean, this guy was brought back here to score, and that's exactly what he did when he first got here after the preseason was over. When he finally signed his new deal, he came in, he started putting up points like crazy, and now he's tailed off. And I understand that you're going to come out of the gate great in that situation. There's a lot of adrenaline, and then it may fall off. And yes, it's happened. However, it's probably fallen off a little bit too much. Not probably. It has fallen off a little bit too much. If you want to be an elite player and an elite goal scorer and all those things, an elite point producer, say that, then you've got to be a little bit more consistent. Let's see what has he done here in these last couple of games. He has an assist in each of the last 2 games. It's all assists, and you know that. That's why you asked the question. And the last time he scored was at Nashville on November 29th. So what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 games without scoring a goal. And, yes, they could use him to score a goal. And I think the biggest problem with him and why he hasn't been scoring goals is, as dumb as this is going to sound, it's the honest to God's truth, he's not shooting the puck. You can't score if you don't shoot. Case in point, which game was it? Was it the Chicago game or was it the game before that? No, it couldn't have been Chicago because Boone Jenner wasn't in the lineup. The Washington game, last Thursday night. Boone Jenner's on the wing with Ryan Johansson. Johansson's driving the net, and he's got a decent look at Braden Holtby. And Jenner's driving on the left wing side, and he tries to make a pass to Boone Jenner, which was, first of all, it was going to be a tough pass to make with the defender in between the two of them. But the bottom line, though, was that was Ryan Johansson's puck to shoot. And if you don't have – if you're looking at it and you think, man, I don't have a lot and maybe I'm not going to score, okay, well then don't shoot it where he's going to catch it and hang on to it. Then maybe shoot it low off the pads, look for a rebound that either comes back in your direction or goes in Boone's direction or something like that. These are no-brainers. And again, where I sit upstairs, I can score 50. It's that easy. I don't have to go down there and actually put it into play. But when you're a goal scorer, if you're going to be a goal scorer, you've got to shoot the puck. And for Johansson, I think that too much lately he's been looking to be kind to the people around him instead of being selfish and take the shot himself. I'd like to see him be a lot more selfish. I'd like to see him take a lot more shots. I don't care if it's a great shot. It doesn't matter. Because if the goalie knows that you as an elite player are going to shoot the puck every time you have it from any place you are on the ice, they worry about that. If they know that you're feeling gun-shy and you're going to pass it, they feel a heck of a lot better. You make them bigger. You make them stronger. You make that goalie stronger by knowing that you, as the best player on the other side, is not going to shoot the puck. You're going to give it to somebody else. Now, he does have great options. He's playing with Nick Foligno. If he gives it to Nick, that's a great option. He's got 16 goals. I get that. But be a little bit more selfish, Ryan Johansson. Shoot the puck. You've got a great shot. You can make great things happen. Shoot the puck and see what happens with it. If nothing happens, what different is that than what's happening right now, right? So that's the point. It's just simple. Just enjoy yourself. Loosen up, have fun, shoot the puck, and see what happens from there. It's as simple as that. But again, I'm a simple guy. I make things simple. Try to anyway. Bill wants to know, 2-part question. Number 1, how good can the Blackhawks be this year? The team is scary good. Well, they can be really good, but can they be better than the LA Kings? Because that's what it comes down to in the Western Conference, really. I think everybody would figure it's going to be them and the Kings once again in the Western Conference Final. So are they better than the Kings? I don't know. They are scary good. They've got everything that you could want. And everybody will say, well, they don't have an elite goaltender. It doesn't matter. They play so well, team defense in front of them. Corey Crawford has a ring. Don't forget, he's got a Stanley Cup ring. That's how you get measured in sports. How many championships do you have? How good were you? How many teams were you able to lead to the promised land? And he's got one of those rings. So, yeah, they could be scary good. And then the second part of Bill's question is, besides Bob, is Pekka Rinne the best goalie this year? No doubt. And by the numbers, he's better. He's giving up under 2 goals per game. But these guys are both in the elite category. They're not, they're not rookies. They're not inexperienced. They are top-notch, and I can't wait for them to go head-to-head tonight. I think this should be some kind of fun watching these two guys tonight. Sam wants to know, if you were Toronto, how would you make that call with the Chicago slide right into the goal? You have to make the call the way they made it, by the rules. You have to say it's a good goal. Yes, he slides in their feet first, but the rules are not. The rule is it was waved off initially because was it a distinct kicking motion to knock the puck into the net? And because even though he kicked it, it didn't go into the net. It was touched by Ben Smith first. I'm talking with Nick Foligno about that this morning, and he's upset about it. He can't believe that ever happened. But he made a good point. He said, you know what, we should have just let the puck go in the net. We shouldn't have stopped it. We shouldn't have tried to prevent it from going in the net. We should have let it go in. If it had gone in off his skates, it was already no goal. But because Ben Smith touches it with a stick, that's what makes it a good goal. So if I were in Toronto, by rule, the way the rule stands right now today, the way they're written, I would have to make the same call because those are the rules. However, I would get done making that call, and I would turn to everybody in that room and say, Are you serious? Like, we've got to change this. Something has got to be done about this. This can't happen. This cannot be a good goal on a nightly basis or ever again. It can't be a good goal. So that's what I would do if it were me. That's the way I would have ruled it, and I would have made the judgment by rule, but then, quickly made a call or sent a clip to somebody way higher than me and said, "Hey, look at this. Are you serious?" So that's the whole thing. And again, they want to generate more goals this year. We saw the Troy Brouwer where he angles the foot and he puts it in, and I understand them wanting to get the scoring up, but that one just goes, that's over the line. That's ridiculous, if you ask me. And you are asking me, so it all works out, I can tell you. Blue Jackets Predators tonight, 7 o'clock start here in Nationwide Arena. Game is on the Scioto Downs Blue Jackets Radio Network. At 7 o'clock tonight is when I'll come on and bring it to you. And it's also going to be on Fox Sports Ohio. And then we're done for 4 days. There will be nothing. This place will be silent for the most part for the next 4 days until Saturday when the Boston Bruins will be here. And then it will be very loud on Saturday with the Bruins coming back in. Don't forget, Milan Lucic comes back in to face Dalton Prout. The last time he faced the Blue Jackets, he wound up with Dalton Prout's fist in his jaw, basically knocking him out while he was standing up. And then he went and he ran that jaw afterwards, talking about what a cheap shot that was, even though he cross-checked Prout in the back of the net right before that happened. So that doesn't count, apparently. But in any event, it's going to be fun. There's a subplot to that game. It's not just the Blue Jackets taking on the Boston Bruins. But if Milan Lucic has any kind of gumption, then maybe he will look for Dalton Prout during that game. And I'm sure if he does, Dalton will be a willing recipient. So we'll wait and see what happens. I don't want to pump up something that's never going to happen for you, but I've been around this game for a while, and that's usually the way it works out. And if it doesn't work out that way, it's usually the guy that had something to say first that will not go and try to back it up the next time. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. So this is going to be the last show prior to Christmas. We're going to take some time off on this show. In fact, I won't do one again until the game day skate on New Year's Eve against the Minnesota Wild. And that is going to be on Wednesday. What day is New Year's Eve? Oh, yeah, December 31st. That's what it's going to be. And then right after that, the Blue Jackets will we'll have to keep you updated on the schedule after that, because it's going to be a long road trip out to Arizona, Colorado, Dallas, Toronto after that. So, I'll keep you informed. Hang in there. But that's going to be it until New Year's Eve. So Christmas is upon us. And here we are, getting ready to face the Nashville Predators tonight and see what happens in this game and see how it goes. See if the Blue Jackets can get done what they're looking to get done. See if they can get points in 10 straight games. They can do that by going to overtime at the very least against the Nashville Predators. I said to Todd Richards earlier this morning, I thought they changed the rules. I thought games are now 65 minutes because that's the way it's been. 6 straight for the Blue Jackets have gone beyond regulation and into overtime. Wouldn't you know that I would close out a show like that? I love Alvin and the Chipmunks. I mean, is there any better musical creation than Alvin and the Chipmunks? Not in my opinion. So that's how we close it out here on this edition of CBJ in 30. Have a safe and happy holiday season. Merry Christmas to you. And again, I'll be back on New Year's Eve with the next CBJ in 30.